Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are going to dive into all things marketing. We're going to talk about paid ads. We're going to talk about how to message effectively nowadays. And we're going to talk about basically everything to do with social media, strategy, content and marketing. We've got Shannon in. Hi.
Back again.
I know, it's almost like she works there. So we're going to get straight into it. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you get notified when we do more videos, and we will get started.
Cool. So one thing I think we wanted to talk about today was a lot of what we're talking about anyway in FBU and obviously with our clients is like why people just shoot and just focus on doing lead gen. I actually was speaking to someone the other day who is a virtual assistant, and her client is she's doing 4 hours a day for her, right? And her client is making her send out 150 messages every day and just starting conversations, not like actual like nurturing people or anything else. And it's like, it's majority of them going to be cold.
Well, so that would be my first question. What is she doing? Like, who is she sending those messages to?
A lot
that
of them are just
number's
cold.
fucking arbitrary.
Yeah.
Send out 150 messages a day to who? Well, I don't know. Just send out 150 messages
Just start
a day.
150 conversations, and it's like
With who?
exactly
With who?
How many, like, because she's not. I don't think she's got that. She probably have a good amount of followers, but if you think of if you're going to do that every day for a month,
Right, here's my idea, right? You want to send out 150 messages a day. I'm going to get into it early. Start running ads. You want to talk to 150 leads a day. Start paying to get 150 leads attention. Make a really fucking good lead magnet. What do you reckon you can get? Well, to be fair,
that's actually my next one though as well. When someone needs to run ads, it just ties in
then
nicely.
when you run out of lead flow for your messenger set, listen, I think there's a couple of ways you can go about this. DMing is cold DMing, like doing outbound messaging to people that don't know who you are and don't engage with your content, is an entirely different thing that maybe happens way down the line when you've exhausted all our avenues and you still want to grow your business.
It happens a lot more often though than we realise, like what people are doing, because people still don't understand the difference between different leads.
But then it's just fucking, I think it confuses everyone, because then you say don't do that. People are you saying don't send messages? I'm like, no, I'm not saying don't send messages. I'm saying don't fucking harass strangers.
Yeah.
Which realistically is the right way to go, right? Say you're going shopping, right? And you're walking into Tesco's, I know because I fucking do it every day, and there's a fucking double glazing person that stands right next to, I think it's security for windows, to be fair. I don't think double glazing is a
They're
thing anymore.
expensive, you know.
What, security for windows? I know. I put new windows and doors in my mum's house last year. I was like, oh my God, how much the windows cost.
Some woman quoted us told me about it. It was like probably $5,000, and she was like,
For windows or for the door?
for security in the house. And she was like, you can basically have this alarm in the house, which basically if someone's in the house as an intruder, it will smoke the house out.
Oh, we got offered that, yeah.
And I was like, why would anyone need that? Like, I don't live in like £1 million mansion. I was like, I live in a house in Pensby, so.
To be fair, we've got like, I was going to say armed response then. I don't know whether they're armed. They're probably not legally allowed to be armed.
I know you've got the thingy response.
We have like fast response.
You have more expensive thing in your house than I do.
I don't have anything expensive in the house. It's all in a safety deposit.
Yeah. Well,
other than the cars. Well, no, it's a safety deposit. You want to go try and take it from the safety deposit. You want to do some fucking, what's it called?
Would that be armed, Jackin? We're going really off topic here, but Jackin, it'd be armed.
You can't get armed response in England. It's not legal to have firearms. The only way you would get armed response is if someone turned up armed and then somebody rang the police and said they've got guns. You can't have
but you got like special protection services and stuff now.
No, they can't have guns.
Surely.
No, even the police, even only certain members of the police.
I was going to say something, but I'm not, because it's probably get me took off.
Yeah, I remember you're Irish. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Why people...
Right, yeah, not harassing strangers. Yeah. So you walk into Tesco's, right, and you get harassed by the double glazing people or the people, that want you to switch internet.
It's like going from Sky.
You don't want to have that conversation.
No.
You don't, all right? And they're hoping that one of the random people that walks in their mind that day is going, I need to fucking sort out that double glazing. And they go, oh, my man at the double glazing counter. Right, you've come at the right point. But 99.9% of the people that get harassed by the double glazing person, it's just bullshit. They're also stupid because they always ask you on the way out. I'm like, I'm full of shopping now, mate. Like,
yeah.
You
Instead
might
of
have
asking
had me
on the way
before.
in, they ask you on the way out, which is highly annoying.
But I go to a car showroom I want someone to come and talk to me about the cars. I've not gone there for a fucking giggle. I need to buy a car. In fact, if somebody doesn't message me for a while, I'm going to go, well, this is a bit fucking stupid. I'm here looking at all these cars and no one spoke to me. I'll go to the other car place.
I was in a car showroom before, and like I remember, I think it was a Mercedes as well, and I was
look at you.
I was going in for my car at the time. But
oh, did you have a Mercedes as well?
Yeah, it was the little A-Class I had.
All right,
remember?
yeah.
You remember the little A-Class I had?
No. Lost track of all your cars.
I know, that many. But I remember going in and I was like, not one person's come over and spoke to me yet, and I was like, what's that about? And I was like, do I look like a person who doesn't like I can't afford a Mercedes or something? And that like really bugged me.
Right, so this is right. So the environment matters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the environment absolutely matters. If you're Googling double glazing and you're on a double glazing website and then you get an email saying, hey, you're considering double glazing, you never asked. You're like, oh, this makes things much easier and more convenient because I'm looking for this thing.
Yeah.
If you're getting bothered when you don't want something, that's it. So the goal of DMing is about creating relationships, first of all, but second of all, making sure that the people that are thinking about buying have opportunity to speak to you and get to know you and ask questions about whether you can help them. That's what it's for. So so cold DMing for weight loss is fucking silly. All right, it's stupid because
you know what is funny?
You know what it's literally like going, "Hey, you look a bit fat."
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it's like someone coming to me and being like, "Hey, do you want to get in shape?" I'd be like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
So this is why GDPR exists, all right? No, it's literally why GDPR exists because...
But GDPR doesn't exist on Instagram.
But it should, right? GDPR, for business to consumer, it's legal, okay? For business to consumer, it's legal. So you can't just harass random people that aren't looking for what you've got, okay? So that's, for fucking weight loss, it's like ringing everyone up going, hey, you're a bit overweight. I mean, to be fair, nowadays, you're playing percentages, most people are, to be honest. But B2B doesn't happen. So when you read these books, right, and it says do like cold messaging and cold outbound, for business, it works. Okay. And there's no GDPR for business. Okay. If you think you have a viable thing to offer that business to business, there's no GDPR laws. You can scrape every business. Say you sell software to waste management.
Oh yeah, you're allowed to scrape.
You're allowed to scrape every waste management things out of Company's House, out of Yell.com, whether that's still a thing. I'm showing my age there. From Google, all of that stuff, and then you can cold email them all because you can go, look, I've got a solution for you that will make your business cheaper, easier, blah 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 blah. That's fine because that's a normal business activity to do. But doing it to Janice, who works in Asda, going, hey Janice, are you looking to lose weight? She's like, yeah. Well, you cheeky bastard, just because I've been on holiday.
Janice, who hasn't been active on Instagram in about 10 years as well, and doesn't have any like photos of anything. Like that is my biggest issue at the moment is like, I hear all these stories and I'm like, why are people still doing this? Like, surely like they're clued up enough to, I know, but then use your fucking brain. Like, look at like, they're like, oh, but everyone else is doing it. So fucking what if everyone else jumped on fucking bridge to do that too? No.
Probably. You'd be surprised in society. Lemons do
I know, but then it's like, use your brain. Like, clearly something isn't working. So why are you going to keep doing the same thing over and over again just because you want to hit those 10K months? Like, people do that because they're like, oh, I see other people doing it. And I'm like, yeah, but their content may be better than yours. They may be running ads. They might actually be able to have a conversation and not sound like a lemon. So...
It's just use common sense, right? I think your best way forward as a personal trainer or online coach that wants to grow your business online, you have to speak to people, okay? You have to do outreach, but you can be clever about it. Instead of spending 2 hours a day messaging people that don't know who you are, make some really good content and speak to the people that engage with your content.
Yeah.
Make some really good resources, give them to people and help them, and then speak to those people and see what else you can help them with. I reckon if you do those 2 activities and you get very, very good at them, you can grow a business where you can then put that on autopilot.
Yeah.
That's
like,
it.
If you're not getting people off your content, please, for the love of God, take that as a sign that you're not good at content. Like, just take it as a sign. Like if you're telling people the same stuff, if you're going on people's profiles, this is what really bugs me as well. I see so many coaches copying the same thing over and over again. I'm like, what? Like,
have you seen all the coaches do the thing where they put the eggs in the plastic bag with water?
No.
I've seen about 9 different coaches do it.
Why? What is it?
They put eggs in, they go, these are your abs, and the water is your fat, and what you need to do.
It's like when people were doing that thing where it was like, they had like the piece of fat and something else, or like they were doing it with like Skittles or something, and I was like, it was like, you know, when you're at school and they were like, James has 9 eggs and like someone else has 6 eggs. And I was like, I've seen this video 25 times. Why are you all copying each other? Like, stop doing it. And again, I wouldn't want to talk to someone if I've just seen that same video being repeated by someone else.
Yeah, I think
and if
it
you're
ruins,
telling me stuff that like already like doesn't make sense to me. So like people who don't understand nutrition, if you're gonna go eat 120 grams of protein a day and you're like, okay, well, how am I gonna do that? This is how you do that. I'm like, well, if I don't like any of those foods, how am I gonna do that again? Like, you're telling me that, and I don't have time to eat at the moment. So
it's just about understanding what your audience want and need, to be fair. But for me,
major factor people don't understand.
Yeah, I think you need to create content that your audience want to engage in. If you're not getting any engagement though, your next step then isn't to start messaging people. It's to go back to basics and make marketing that people want to engage with.
That may be a good one to actually touch on as well. Like people who aren't obviously getting that, like what would you suggest to them if they don't actually know their audience, but like maybe don't fully understand it?
What do you mean?
So say for example, we have a coach who is sending loads of DMs, they're still posting loads of content, but they're not really getting anything from it. No one's
you've not done the basics. If you don't know what your audience is, then what the fuck are you creating content
on?
But
how would they do that though? Like, how would they go out and find it?
Well, go back and figure out who you can best help. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, realistic, I think there's a couple of options that you've got as a coach who you can work with. I think three areas. You've got the past you, so somebody that you were earlier in your life. You've got people who are like you, but can't do the thing that you can do. So like, I always use the example that like, at the moment, I would classify myself as a business owner. However, I know exactly what I'm doing with my training and nutrition and how to keep myself in shape as a business owner. So I could coach people who are other business owners on how to be in shape. In the same ways if I like, for example, was a nurse and I'm in really good shape and I'm good at my nutrition and I'm good at my training, I would be able to have other nurses to do that.
Yeah, this is why a lot of our guys do really well.
I'm like them, but I can do things that they can't, so I can help them do it. The third one is like, if you're just fucking really educated, if you've worked with thousands of menopausal women and you've done a PhD in menopause, doesn't matter whether
you can do a PhD in menopause.
I'm sure at some point there is a module in somebody's done a PhD on effects of menopause. I don't think they go, yeah, your PhD's in menopause, but because your PhD will be in a research project.
There's hundreds of seminars you can go to, like.
But right. So you've done all of that education. You've worked with the best people at the world about helping people lose fat with menopause. I don't think if you're getting results for those women, they give a shit whether you've gone through menopause or not. They just want you to be able to understand the issues and help them with it. So you've also got experience. And I think you've got one of those three things. But I don't think you can make them up. So you can't have like hoped experience. You can't go, I want to work with professional footballers. I'm like, have you ever had any experience working with professional footballers? No.
Have you ever been a professional footballer? No. Okay, so you don't understand it.
I would like to play in the NBA, but it's not going to happen.
Could you like a foot too small?
More than a foot, to be honest. Actually, if I was a foot bigger, I would actually be all right. I've sold myself shorter. Well, to be fair, I'd be 6'10", so I reckon I'd do all right.
Yeah.
People like you that you can help get them in shape. We're going to go with personal training here, right? So if you're a personal trainer, you help people get in shape. So if you're a personal trainer, but you're also used to be a bricklayer, you could help labourers get in shape. That'd be a great niche because you'd understand it. You'd be able to talk to them in their language. You know the struggles. Or you that you used to be. So like I could help. But that's why I help personal trainers, to be honest with you, because I used to be one.
Yeah, I would help. I've been that many different versions.
There's so many words that pop to mind that I wouldn't say on camera.
I've been that many different versions of myself that I actually don't know who I would pick.
That was your problem.
Yeah, probably.
That was your problem when you had your fitness business. But yeah, so those are the things you niche. That's your cornerstone, okay? Now, the good thing is, I know if I chat to a person, I like talking to other personal trainers. I like helping them, which is a cornerstone of why the messaging works so well. And even when we've got setters, though our setters, I reckon I would put up against most business coaches and they'd probably be able to coach business better because of the time and effort that we put into training them. But we can help, all right? And this is why I get asked when people are like, oh, I'm talking to a setter. I'm like, my setters can help you with your business, hands down, or else they wouldn't be in my inbox. They wouldn't be doing it. And I also think people don't realize how much I actually do in my own inbox. So sometimes when they get them sarky comments, I'm like, it's me, you fucking weapon.
Yeah,
Who the fuck are you talking to?
Like you're in your inbox like quite a lot as well, to be fair. Because it's not like there's someone in there like 24 hours a day.
No, it just helps like when we give out resources and stuff like that. I actually think I've got half an hour to send the resources to everyone. Like there's other stuff I can do. But in reality, I could talk to people, and I know if I talk to them and they talk to me about their issues, I can help them. Whether the best way for me to help them is to put them onto the program, or the best way for me to help them is give them 2 minutes of advice and let them go away and implement it so they can get themselves in a better position. Whatever that is, I know if I help 100 people in my inbox, 10 of them might sign up to the program. Sound. I'm happy with them odds. And I've also helped 90 people. So it's great. And I think a lot of coaches don't go in with that element. They treat it like a sales only task and not just a part of the business. That if you are a coach that helps people, there is a line. Okay. If people want one piece of advice, you don't want to go, oh, well, you have to pay me for that. If somebody comes to me with like an A or B answer, like, Steve, would you do this or this? I'm not going to go, you have to get part of my program to do that. I just go, well, I don't know a lot about you, to be honest, but like from the surface, I would probably pick that. And these are the reasons why.
There's a fine line between giving someone advice and then coaching someone in the DMs.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? It's like saying, okay, so if you've got like problems of sticking to a plan, if you can't stick to something, the best way to do this would be to pay for my help, because then I can help you whenever you need it. And also you've got something in the game. You've invested into a program and therefore shows your commitment. That's why it's a good relationship. They've entered a monetary commitment and the coach is entered into a time and energy commitment to that person. So there's win from both sides. The problem with coaching is like when you coach them on Instagram, they've got no reason to follow it. And realistic, if you want to do great coaching, you've got to learn to develop a relationship with someone. You've got to find out what makes them tick. You've got to do the whole consultation process. So there will be conversations where you go, the best way for me to help you with this is to jump on a call and actually talk about how I can help you. That's all you need to do. So then you just need to attract enough people to where those numbers work out. Instead of like forcing people onto a fitness program, get enough people in the front, like get enough people to know who you are and know what you do. Help everyone that needs help and deal the right cards in the right place. If you just need a video, you're getting a video. If you need, my PDF on nutrition, you get my PDF. If you can't stick to that PDF on nutrition because you've got other stuff going on and you need a coach, you do my coaching program. And that's just the way it should work.
Yeah.
I think so many coaches go into I don't want to be too salesy. I'm like, well, don't sell to people that don't want to be sold to then. Simple. But what they want to do is use it as an excuse to not do anything. Now, I'm sorry, but if you don't like talking to the people that are going to be potential clients and you don't think that's a useful investment of your time, get another fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, go work somewhere where you don't have to spend. So many people I'm an introvert. How the fuck can you be a coach if you're an introvert? Like, honestly, how can you be a great coach if you're an introvert?
I don't know how anyone could do that.
You can be introverted in certain scenarios, but like when you're in a coaching standpoint, you've got to be a leader. You've got to be vocal. You've got to be able to help people. You've got to be wanting to have conversations with people.
People just feel like it's like an awkward thing to do. And I'm like,
how?
Why? Because you talk to people every single day.
That's what personal training
is.
If
doing sales calls, I'm like, of course you do. Because like you're on.
Personal training is built on building relationships. It always has been.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's been the same in the gym.
But what you have to do in a gym when you're on the floor, you have to go out and meet people. That's the worst thing to do as well. I hated that part of personal training.
Were you ever a very successful personal trainer?
I was alright, actually.
Very successful.
I wasn't doing fucking 60 hours a week. I was doing two jobs, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'd argue that's why you probably didn't do amazing at it, because you didn't like it. I could stand in a gym and chat shit to people all day.
Yeah, I found that really
I could sit there, talk about training. I can talk about nutrition. That's why I always fucking chew people's ear off about business.
Yeah.
I could sit here and do this all day with the same amount of energy because I really enjoy it. And that's where you've got to be. Yeah. I think if you're going to be a successful coach, like you can't, or you've got to get someone else to do it. Like if you, like, listen, I don't think you have to be the most passionate coach to run a business, because running a business doesn't always mean coaching. So like you can be at the top of it and get other people to do it. But somebody in that business has got to have passion. Somebody in that business that like has got to want to do that job, or else it's a burden. It's hard work.
Yeah.
You've got to really enjoy it. So it's your job to either be that person.
Coaching people at one point when I was doing it, but I didn't like the part of, I'm going back like 6 years ago. Like I started my personal training in 2017. So I went back to that time, and when I started, I was coaching with another company. So like they were giving me the clients and I was coaching them. Yeah. So when I went out on my own, I found it a lot more difficult because I was never taught how to do that part of like the business
So
side
that's
of it.
different, right?
Yeah.
If you find it awkward because you don't know what to say,
Yeah.
that's a different matter. But once you get an easy framework that you can follow, it should be fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
I don't always want to bring back lead gen to like talking to girls or boys when you're younger, but it is a little bit the same.
I always say it's
You've
like
got to
Tinder.
get over that fear
But
a
I
little
always
bit.
say it's like Tinder. Like I've always said this, like lead
I
gen
don't
to
even
me.
fucking remember Tinder, you know. I've been with Charlotte for like 5 years now.
I honestly, like, swear to God, my mate's still on Tinder, and it's quite funny because like she always sends me
My
stuff.
mates.
Yeah, I'm obviously with Tom, aren't I? You
I'm
dickhead.
joking.
But I always find it so funny because like I always say to the guys, I'm like, think of it like when like Tinder, when you were grafting your ass off to get that date, when you didn't have to get
Did
much
you have to
into it.
graft? I
No,
didn't.
no, when you didn't have to do that on Tinder because people just ask you anyway. But like, do you know if you like really like someone and like you wanted to actually go on a date with them and you had to like graft a little bit, you know, put in that time and effort, ask them their favourite colour, what food they like to eat, you know, all that shite people
Are you
ask.
serious? You asked someone the favourite colour?
No, I didn't.
If you'd
I'm
have,
just
if you'd
saying.
have come
I'm
to me,
generalising.
what's your favourite colour? I'd be like, are you simple?
I'm generalising to make it more sound like it's actually what it is. I'm not going to be like, ask them like something else, do you know what I mean? It's just what you did, like
Sorry,
whatever.
I'm
I
just
mean, I
winding
had
you up.
some weird dates. I'm not going to lie. I did have some fucking weird dates. They were bad as well. So anyway, I should have known as soon as like I went on Tinder. But I always say that's what it's like. It's like when you're dating people and you're actually looking for someone, like have to go through a lot of like shitty people to find the right person for your program. The same you have to do in your dating life.
Yeah, honestly, like it's not that difficult.
And if you're introvert, you're not. I'm sorry, but you're not going to.
I think no, you can be introverted in like I think everyone's different. Like you can be introverted and extroverted in certain situations. Like
Yeah,
I've seen people that
be shy
are
and stuff.
so nervous, and then you put them in a different group of people, and they fucking light up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, like this is my place. These are my people. If you're introverted, if you're struggling to send out messages and you're introverted, I would argue that you're not working with the right audience that
Yeah.
you truly can relate
It's
to.
not like a connection there. So it's like, that's why I always say to people on the calls as well, I'm like,
It looks
you,
forced,
You
it
need
looks
to have
hard
something in
work.
common. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, have you got things in common with your audience? Yeah, well, like, and I'm like, that's not something in common at all. Just because you like coffee and they like coffee does not mean you have a general interest in anything. A lot of people like coffee. Like, that's not.
Say like you're working with business owners, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy talking about business.
Yeah, enjoy
so the
talking
first
about
thing
the
you want to
intricacies
say
of
is like,
business,
hey, I see you work with an
operations.
accounting firm. Like that must be really interesting. Like, do you have any like cool clients?
Not even that,
Blah,
but
blah,
like
blah.
asking about like different things that they might do in that job.
But
like,
yeah, ask them how the business is going and be genuinely interested.
Yeah.
If you can talk to them about the business, then you go, by the way, you know, and they say, yeah. Oh, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm a personal trainer. And then you'd be like, well, conversation probably won't go like that.
like
but
you could be like,
show an
I
interest.
do like
They
coaching,
can
but
te-
I used to be an accountant myself.
They
Do you know what I mean?
they can tell you're a personal trainer because
Yeah.
they'll know from your profile. All right. So if you break down that wall with them and you start to build a relationship, they're going to go, you know what? Do you mind if I ask you a question? 9 times out of 10, you'll get that. Like, can I ask
Yeah.
you a question? If I chat shit to people on my inbox, like just about their businesses and how things are going for them, or even their training and their nutrition, because people are always like that, generally they'll go, by the way, do you mind if I just ask you something while I've got you here? And then they'll ask me a question about business and I'll help them.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, right. And I'll be like, where is your business like right now? Like, what kind of stuff are you doing? You're like, blah, 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 blah. Have you worked with anyone on that? No, not really.
It's like a nice
do you want
transition.
to? Yeah, it's so natural. If you feel like you're forcing like transitions into stuff, I think
Yeah.
you've got it wrong.
Yeah. Also, just to go back as well, just talking about like when people are sending out 150 messages a day, I do think that people who are doing that are like clutching at straws because they're like, they just want to get people in as quick and much as possible, and they don't actually care about the person itself that's being coached.
I think
That's
you've not
where
built a good enough offer
Yeah, but
if
I
you're
feel
doing
like
that.
that is my understanding of it. Like if you are coaching and if you're listening to this right now, and you are that person, you send in 150 messages every day to like that many people, and you're clutching at straws and you're not getting calls back, there's a reason for that. Like,
If you're sending 150 messages a day, I think you should be making 3 sales. If you're not making 3 sales a day or sending 150 messages, I'd argue your system's broken.
yeah,
and
that
you're putting
system
far
is
too much in the top end.
But I think as well, they're being told to do this by other people, which really bothers me. Like,
Pick better people
like,
to learn from.
it's like,
Yeah, but
you know,
I'm not here to solve their problems. Pick better
shit
people
rolls
to learn from.
downhill, all that type of thing.
Pick better people to learn from.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
learn from me.
Yeah.
I'm very good at it.
I don't know. I would just rather grow my business, like talking to people that I actually want to
But then
talk
would you
to.
never have people in your business that you actually want to work with and who want to work with you instead of having to fucking force their hand because you've sent them 17
I really
follow-up
like all of our
messages.
clients. I buzz off it. Like when we all come for client days and stuff like that, I have a really
But they
fucking
love it
good
as
time.
well. Like absolutely. Like I was talking to Maya the other day, and even she was like, she's like, I can't. Like she's like, when I get in a room with everyone in the room, she's like, I really love that, and I'm like, that's why we're doing more of them. I was like, because it gets them around people, and like maybe they don't talk to anyone else who does the same job as they do, but when they're around us and they're around other people, it's like it gives them that sense of like, fuck, I can actually really do this. Like it's like motivation.
Okay,
But anyway.
don't send as many messages.
Yeah,
Just
so
get better.
we kind of touched on ads a little bit. Like when would someone need to run ads?
At any point. At any point. I honestly, like people, you should wait till this point to do ads. No. Okay. You just get to pick. I think you should pick. You validate your offer. Okay. You make sure that you have an offer that certain people want to buy. So your offer targets a certain target market. It works for that target market, and they can leave a good review and they say, you know what? Yeah, that was a great purchase. I'd do that again.
Yeah.
If you do that, the only thing that's stopping you running ads is skill. That's it, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna be like,
If you came from a digital marketing background, right, you knew how to run ads perfectly. You go, I'm going to build this offer. I'm going to sell it once organically, make sure it all works. Right, I'm going to target 35-year-old mums, for example, who, I don't know, want to lose weight by doing exercise classes. I've made it up, okay? They love exercise classes. They want to lose weight because they want to do it in a group setting, maybe with other mums, so they can communicate or whatever. All right, that's the niche. You find a group of those women, okay, maybe on Facebook, or you find like an influencer that targets those women, or you start posting content to attract those women to your own page, however you want to do it, okay? You post this offer. You deliver some value. You post this offer. 10 people, like, say they're interested in it. 5 of them book a call, you sell 3. Validated, okay, on the sales front. You go through the coaching program with them. Let's say 3 of them go in, 2 of them get results. 1 of them is all right, kind of average. They all leave good reviews about the service though, and they say that, you know, this was a really good investment that I made. Validated, okay, on both ends. Now, if you've come a digital marketing background and you know how to run ads, who gives a shit? As long as you've got the money to, as long as you've got like the margin in your program to do so.
Yes,
if somebody then give you a 10 grand investment in your business, run ads.
Yeah, right, okay. So that's, I know what you're saying. I obviously come from a digital marketing background. I just think that there is, even when I was in digital marketing, I said point blank to a lot of people, you should not be running ads because what you're doing doesn't apply to a lot of people. So like they were looking at the wrong places for those types of clients. And I even said that like to my boss at the time. I was like, you're giving me this client that wants to run Facebook ads. And I was like, they have nothing on their pages. There's no audience there. Like we're shooting fish in a barrel. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah, but that's if you've niched properly, then you can use the targeting from that.
No, I get that as well. Like that's
for weight loss and fitness, for example.
What I don't want people to take away from this podcast is like to go and start ads. Also,
well, the
you
difference
need to
is
understand
nobody's
how to
got the budget.
Yeah, but you need to understand how to actually handle those people when they come in. Because one, if you can't fucking talk to people, don't run ads because you like. They still need some sort of connection built there. Like no one's going to just like simply buy your £350 program or £250 program off an ad. They want something for free, first of all. Also, if you don't know how to fucking write content, you're not going to be able to write emails afterwards.
Yeah, but I would argue if you've wrote the offer and posted it in the group and the offer's been written well enough for them to buy it.
Yeah, but you're talking about specific things. So you're talking about that type of like group coaching and like doing that. What I'm saying is like for people listening to this who are like obviously coaches and we work with, and they don't really post content up as it is.
Right, so this is why it's so important to get your niche right. Because I think if you get your niche right, you can run any form of marketing. I think that's the cornerstone.
Yeah.
I think if you understand your target market, that's why ads work. Because you can do the targeting correctly. You know what words to say to them. You know how to grab their attention. You can write content correctly. All you need to be given at that point is a framework. That's all you need to be given. If you understand your target market to a deep level, you know the words, you know the pain points, you know the frustrations, you know the words that catch their attention, you know what they call themselves and what they call other things, so you can use that language. All you need is a framework of someone go, this is what a headline looks like, this is what an opening paragraph looks like, this is what body looks like, this is what a call to action looks like. Fucking plug and play the words that you know into that framework. It'll work.
Yeah.
And that's why I fucking bang the drum on it so much. Like, if you don't know your target market, oh, I made some sales. Cool. You're going to fucking run dry eventually, because when you start needing to have that knowledge, you're going to have to pay a fortune for someone else to do the market research for you.
Yeah.
And then you're running a business that you don't understand.
Well, it's like there's obviously a very high-tech coach I know that's completely changed their niche, where they were very broad in terms of like they help women with losing weight, and now they've went from that to going really heavily in the menopause and premenopause, like, because it's a really good, it's again something they know knowledge
But the
about.
targeting works way better. So
targeting
like
obviously
the
now works
numbers
way
work.
better. It's probably way better for their business, probably way better for them as a business, like in terms of the quality of clients. And then again, like their coaches and stuff probably work better with them.
Well, you can build a specialist business then, and you can build specialist marketing.
Yeah, and
so
that's it.
everything
Isn't it?
stands
Like
out.
my biggest thing with people who want to run ads is like they're like, it's like the first thing that comes to their head. I'm like, well, no, that's not really how it works. Like literally, you're just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks.
But that's why, like, honestly, if you have a good understanding of the target market and good product for that target market, you can actually run quite mediocre ads.
Yeah.
And they'll still convert really well. They'll still convert profitably. You'll still get the buy-in on the back end. There'll be repeat customers. If you're a generic fat loss coach and you run ads, you've got to have some hell of a creative to stand out. You've got to have top level creative, because otherwise you just look the same as every other person. Yeah. So that means that, it's going to be very competitive for leads.
And your offer needs to be absolutely solid.
Yeah. It's harder, I think.
Yeah.
To scale a business with generic fat loss, it's way harder than if you pick a niche.
I don't think people understand that either.
No, but every time I see I don't hear a niche, I always get it from people that like make mediocre money. And I'm like, that's why you're still mediocre, even though you're probably actually better at business and better at coaching than your numbers would show.
Yeah.
Because you're refusing to let go of this. It's just scary for a minute.
Yeah.
Because they're doing okay. They don't want to then go into a niche because they feel like all the current client, like
my current clients all going to leave
the
me. And you're like,
broken
no,
system that they've got together is going to stop working.
There's always a horrible grey area whenever you're doing that, because it's like, shit, I'm changing now.
Everything's a risk though.
Yeah.
Leaving your job to run your own business is a risk. Like,
that's what I did. Twice.
Me fucking taking on staff to build this infrastructure is a risk. Like, you continually roll the dice and you just got to back yourself, or else you found your level.
Yeah. So next one was, how do people get up to date with trends and marketing in business? And like, so how do we give...
You don't. You understand your target market at core level.
But like what I'm kind of referring to mostly is like, for us, we understand that like things change quite a lot, right? So see if you're not a part of like FBU or like maybe a mentorship or something that is keeping up with that and like educating people on that cold DMs don't work, okay? Right?
Yeah, I think all the top of the funnel stuff changes quite a lot.
Yeah.
So like how to get attention changes all the time. Mm-hmm. Once you've got attention, it's not changed for fucking like 50
I wouldn't
years.
say that, but I think for a lot of people like who aren't inside FBU, obviously we do trainings on every week. We update people on like, okay, this is what's working now. This is what we want you to try.
It's how to do the thing. So like how to get the outcome changes, I think. So like, and mass adoption happens.
Well, it does.
So like markets mature.
Yeah.
So online coaching, a lot of the stuff that you used to have to do is like, this is what online coaching is. This is why it's different to personal training. Whereas now it's a lot of, this is why my online coaching is better than so-and-so's online coaching, because the market itself has matured into more of an aware market. So at first, like years and years and years ago, you used to be like, this is why getting a personal trainer is a good idea, because people didn't know what personal training was. Now everyone kind of knows what a personal trainer does. So then it become, this is what an online personal trainer, this is why an online personal trainer is better than an in-person personal trainer. And that was the marketing then, because they weren't aware of what online coaching was. Yeah. Now everyone's aware of what online coaching is. Now it's then, this is why my online coaching is better.
For you specifically, like you as like a person, because I understand
so it's that market, it's that adoption of the market. But so that's why 5 or 6 years ago when I started online coaching, at first I got away with, I'm going to get you results, because I was just saying.
But now everyone is like that. Like,
well, everyone's got results. Everyone who's been in the game for more than a couple of years has got at least like 3 to 5 results. If you're not, I don't know what you've been doing for the last few years. So like, beforehand, there wasn't that many people who could put up 10 before and afters of their online coaching program and be like, I get this, these are my results. Nowadays, everyone's got them, and if they don't have it, they fucking steal them. And because there's that many on the internet, no one can fucking keep up with it. So like, that's gone out the window now. Now everybody's got results of their program.
Yeah.
So now it needs to be right. What's the mechanism that gets you there?
Yeah. So it's obviously it's the marketing that actually changes, like the tactics change each time to get people
the underlying
attention.
strategy always stays
That's
the
what
same.
I was trying to get at, was like, for obviously a lot of people, like hard, they even like, most people are just copying other people.
So that's why I think you need both, right?
Yeah.
You need the underlying, this is how my market think. So these are the steps that I need to get my market to go through. These are the kind of mental decisions I need to get them to go through to buy. And that never changes. But if you don't understand that, you don't know how to use the platforms to get them to do that.
Yeah.
So like the platforms change all the time, but the buying cycle that you move people through never changes. So it's about matching the tool to the job. Now, if you don't know what the job is and you get given a load of different tools, you're not going to know what to do with them anyway. So people like see someone doing something that they think works, so they do it, but they have no idea why it's working or how it's working.
They don't understand the actual,
so then when it
reasoning.
changes, they don't go, oh, that tool to convert someone from being interested in my services to buying my services is now different, or it's changed. I need to find another tool that does that. They don't understand that process. So they just go, oh shit, it stopped working. What the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And I think you need both.
Yeah.
I think you need strategic awareness and you need tactics as well.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people as well, it would benefit them just being a part of something, or like having other friends or something like that who are in similar jobs, like, and understanding that they do, like, I think a lot of people, like especially online coaches who aren't a part of like a mentorship, they're not a part of like anything, and maybe just doing it kind of on their own, they are literally just winging it. So like they don't understand like the marketing tactics are being used, and they are copying a lot of other people and thinking that's going to work for them.
Pay
So,
for
like,
something.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you don't pay for us. Just pay for something.
Pay for a course,
Anything.
pay for something, pay for even pay for a digital marketing course.
I'm going to be honest with you. Even dog shit business coaches are better than nothing. I swear to you. Even the people that hate me, that talk about me all the time, and there's more than one of them. So like, I'm not talking about a specific set of people. Even they're better than doing nothing. I would never say to someone, do nothing. Just don't try. Just leave it.
No, I think people should always definitely try. I think, like you said,
I think
like
if you back yourself, if you do any program to any sort of level,
you can literally go on. Is it Udemy, or it's like a website you can go on to. It's like UDM EY or something
my
like that.
YouTube's got loads of shit on it. Hopefully you're watching this on YouTube, but if you're watching it on a different platform, you're coming over from Instagram, go on my YouTube. There's loads of shit on there.
Yeah.
Just be learning something. I don't care if you're not even paying for it. If you're watching YouTube for an hour every night, just be learning and moving
I
forward.
pay like 80 quid for that fucking Alex and Worsey like book as well. It's in the house.
80 quid.
Yeah.
I listened to it for free on his podcast.
I had to get it from America, so I ordered it. So I had to pay.
Did you care that much?
Yeah.
I weren't asked. I would just waited me.
No, so I really wanted it. I don't know why.
I really like him. I don't think the book was anything.
Oh, his marketing absolutely suckered me in. Like,
Did it?
110% suckered me in. He emailed me all the time though as well. Another thing I've touched on too was about how email has literally just came back around.
I mean, it's not. It's just everybody didn't want to do it because it was harder than fucking dancing around with a dildo on TikTok. Just requires a little bit more thought process than fucking making another salt and pepper chicken recipe.
It was abandoned though
If I see one more burrito in an air fryer, I'm gonna fucking kill someone. Like, I was gonna say, I actually like most animals, and I was thinking about an animal that I could sacrifice every time I see a burrito. But then I was like, I'll stamp on a spider, but most people would like that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but I think a lot of people,
It's right. You know what it is? You can't get away with shit on email. If you get away with shit on email, people are going to unsubscribe or they're going to not opening it. You're going to start going in junk mail and it's going to start fucking all your other emails
massively
off.
as well. I literally found, like, I'm not joking, just on Threads today, scrolling through, and I found a guy who literally gave me a framework for emails, for different emails to write, and I'm like, that's that easy to get stuff now, like, for marketing, and I'm like, why aren't you using it?
You know what? I had a little fanboy moment on Monday because, like, you know, like we took people to, so we took our coach. Yeah, if you don't know, we took all the coaches to Paul Mort to learn like the transformational coaching framework. But Paul used to be an email guy.
Oh yeah, he was massive on email.
So Paul used to have a thing called Email Domination Academy, and I bought it when I started personal training, and it was really good. To be fair, it wasn't like anything complex and mind blowing. I'm like, oh my god, it was just how to write an email that people wanted to open and read and get to know you. So I did that for ages.
Yeah.
I sold hundreds of programs through email. And the difference is, it is harder.
Yeah.
I think it is harder to send good emails, but you do it right. There's way less competition. There's way less noise. Like if you think what people are following on Instagram, average followers of somebody, 1,000, 2,000 people. How many email subscriptions do you think they have?
Like none.
20 maximum.
Yeah.
Before you go fuck.
But that's
I've
because,
ruined
like,
this
again,
inbox.
people like they just overcomplicate everything. And I'm literally just thinking that I was like, do you know, in the last, like, obviously the last 3 years we've been doing this and I've been doing this, I feel like I've learned more about marketing than I have in the 9 years I spent in digital marketing agencies. Literally. I feel like, I learned a lot in the first couple of years, but then you obviously learn, you just kind of like stick to that.
You know what
it
is though? It's because I don't have any of those preconceptions. So like I only go, right, what works? What makes sense?
Yeah,
and
my
I don't
body had
worry
all
about
those.
learning all the other stuff. I'm like, I only really need to know the stuff that's going to move the needle forward and why it moves the needle forward. Like, and
But I was like, they did like, so my whole job was like digital marketing executive or manager or whatever, but it was always like everything encompassed. So it was always like ads, SEO, fucking Google ads, like copy, email, all of that, all had to be in the same like job role. So I always had to learn everything. And now I'm just like I've actually feel like I've learned more because I'm not getting like pinged to like different job roles.
it is honestly, like if you learn to write copy, learn to write copy would be my number one task, because you can't write copy. You can't write copy if you don't know who you're writing to.
Yep.
First of all, so you have to sort your niche out from there. If you can write copy, you can write a video script. If you can write copy, you can write an email. Mm-hmm. If you can write copy, you can write an offer. And if you can write copy, you can write ad creative. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, if you can write copy, you understand the emotions and motivations and struggles of the audience, so you can coach them as well.
Yeah.
So realistically, boil down, if you can write copy, you can
Basically
do everything.
Do a copy course. Maybe the next one.
We've got that being built actually. Zach's doing it. Be really good. I've seen the start of it.
So one was about how do we have a good conversation with a lead? So someone
Who said that?
What? That was me.
Was that you? What's a good conversation?
So
Quantify good. What's the outcome of good?
So let's say we'll change the question. So instead of having good conversation with a lead, what we could say maybe something like
how to know that a conversation is worth pushing to a sale for a lead.
That's
okay. BANT framework. BANT. Okay. Buying power. Can they buy it? Do they have the authority to actually buy it? Like, is it for them? Are they the person that wants to do it? Do they have the need for it? Is it something that can really help them? Do they have the time to do it? Mm-hmm. There's loads of acronyms you could...
I feel like I've never heard you use that.
It's in the fucking course. There's a video that says BANT on it. But if you can qualify all of those things, if you know, like, this person realistically has the money to afford my services in some way, shape or form. Like, they just have the financial power. Maybe they might need to sacrifice something for it, but they can. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to sell a Ferrari to somebody that works in Windsor's World of Shoes. Okay. Unless you're the boss of Windsor's World of Shoes. But even then, I probably think
I have no idea what that even is.
It's a shit shoe shop. When you have poor shoes.
What do we have in Belfast? We had, what was that one? It used to be in Ann Street. And it was like, you used to go and get like a pair of shoes like £4.
There's nothing physically wrong. There's nothing physically wrong with Windsor's World of Shoes, right? But once when I was teaching, I was staying at my ex-girlfriend's and my car got smashed into and the cunt stole my shoes out of the car. Like, they're not my school shoes because I was teaching at the time, but they were the shoes I wore for school. Okay. The only place that I could stop on the way into school with my fucking smashed car window was Windsor's World of Shoes. So I got a pair of shoes from Windsor's.
Was the one with the 5 stripes? But remember, like,
I don't know, but as soon as I went in,
that had like 4?
5 minutes I'd been in school. Sir, you've got fucking shit shoes on. It's like, oh my God. How the fuck have they twigged that straight away? But
that's hard. Anyway, you could tell if you had a pair of shit shoes in school, if they had 5 stripes instead of 4. Because it was like this brand and used to mimic that one. And that was like, if you have 5 stripes, you went and got them for like £4 out of the shitty parent shop on Ann Street.
Yeah. But one of the things that you need to consider is just, are you qualifying the people? Okay. If they're telling you, I don't have enough money.
Yeah, can't afford it.
Might not have enough money.
Yeah. I think a lot of people really struggle with that because it really bothers me, and they're like, but she said she can't afford it, and just like she doesn't know. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like you can object to handle it and you can keep going if you want to. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to cut your losses, be like, wait, they can't afford it. Like that's it.
If they're initially going, I can't afford it right now, here's what I would say. How do you know? Because you don't know how much it costs.
Yeah.
Are you saying that because you don't?
I mean, I tell them to say that, but in a different way. I'm basically saying like, just like handle the objection. Like they clearly don't know anything about you yet. They don't understand the value. That's usually why people say, I can't afford it.
I can't afford coaching right now. You would say, yeah, but would you want some help for free? Oh yeah, brilliant. Carry on the conversation. And then just move around it until people go, well, I'm not telling them the cost because they've not had a chance to get any value yet. And they're like, that makes sense. Okay, so now what are you going to do? I'm going to keep talking to them about the cost. I'm like,
no, just move on. Just
how is that going to happen?
The issue.
If you're like, if you're looking at it thinking they're not going to, obviously, I don't want to talk about the cost because they don't know the value yet. Then if somebody goes, I don't have any money for coaching right now, go, well, that's absolutely fine. But if I give you some help for free, would you want that? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Figure out if you can help them first. Talk to them more. Deliver them this value that they apparently need to get before they'll talk to you about the price.
I mean, I tell people all the time as well, I always say it is that people who always like first say the price or like they're always asked about the price, they don't understand what it is that you're actually trying to do. First of all, like they just ultimately think that this is going to be expensive.
You're trying to sell them, so that's why they bring up sales all the time. Listen, there's a couple of there's probably 3 reasons why people ask about price. One, they're actually already wanting to talk to you about the program, and they pretty much know what online coaching is and what they're going to get, and they genuinely just want to know whether they can afford it. There's people that are very overly concerned about money, which still means you probably need to go, yeah, but would you want some help for free? And they go, yeah. And then you find out more about them and you qualify them through a conversation. And then if, you go, look, is there any budget for you to get this help? Once you built up that trust with them, they're going to be honest and be like, I could probably afford
50 quid a month.
Something between like £100 and £200 a month. You could be like, well, we can probably sort something out in that price range. But I still need to find out more about you, more what I can help with. They're more likely to come on a call there. Or the third option is that they literally they're buying on price and they're really, really low level buyers and they're not really bought in and they're not really invested, and they'll do something if it's really cheap because it'll make them feel better about making a change, but they don't actually have to do anything. They're not going to lose a lot. Yeah,
there needs to be an actual want to a want to change. Like we can't force people into doing it. And I see that quite often, as like people like forcing someone to get on a call, and it's like that call didn't go well, they didn't sell, and I'm like, okay, well, let me show me this conversation. You look at it and you're like, well, this person clearly didn't want a call. You forced their hand into it, and that's why. What else did you think was going to happen? That you want to change their mind?
Like you can book 20 calls, but if 19 of those people don't want to be there, I'd argue that it's probably not a good idea. Listen, your job as a coach is to just help people. Help people help your target market with their struggles. Know where the line is between helping them a little bit and having to coach them. Because if you're having to coach them, you're asking for a commitment from them to do what you say. And if there's no monetary commitment, there's likely no actual energy commitment either. So know where your line is, know who needs a bit of advice, and know who needs coaching. The ones that need coaching, say, listen, the best way for me to help you with this is my coaching program. And then coach those people. And the ones that aren't quite ready and don't quite need coaching or aren't quite ready for coaching, don't coach them. Just help them. Give them something else. I think people just overcomplicate this. The problem is, I think people just don't engage enough with their audience, and therefore the 5 engagements that they do have per day, they feel like they need to turn into a sale. I literally talk to personal trainers all day.
Yeah.
Every day. And when I'm not doing it, someone else is doing it for me.
Yeah.
But it's literally all day. So no wonder we make the sales that we do, because the amount of volume of people that we're helping, naturally, a lot of those people are going to then be like, fuck me, I've had loads of help and advice. I've watched 9 YouTube videos. I've done these 2 mini courses that he's done. He's given me a bit of personal help, like once or twice. I get an email from him every day, so I know exactly what's going on in the program and what they're working on. I want to be a part of it, or I want to find out a little bit more about it. I swear people think they can post up 2 pieces of content and then run people through a script and they're going to buy from you.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Step your game up.
So the last 2, so we've got going viral on TikTok isn't a good business tactic, and why? So I seen this earlier actually.
I don't like answering questions that I feel like people with 2 brain cells can figure out.
Well, I seen this earlier was that a girl that I follow who is quite big, she runs her own company, like she like makes like 7 figures, and think she actually posted it on Threads, and I was like, that's so fucking good, because like people generally think that going viral on Instagram or any form of social media is their one-way ticket to making millions, and I'm like, no.
I would rather not, to be fair. I think when you go viral, you just get a load of mess in your account. And
Yeah.
we've got a couple
and like
of
how
coaches.
much of those people is actually going, like how much of those people, that's not even proper English, how many of those people are like actual people that are the
They're
exact
gonna
people that
realistically
you
buy from you.
Yeah, or like not every single person on Instagram or TikTok is a lead or someone who's going to buy your product or service from you.
And you need to realise why certain people are on social media as well. Some people are on there purely for entertainment. So if you think, right, I'm going to run around.
TikTok is exact, that is that
But
place
even
though.
on Instagram, the Instagram Reels thing is the same thing. Like if you want to run around like a dickhead and you think that's going to get me loads of attention, that's cool. But you've got their attention by being a clown.
Yeah.
And then you're
No one's
trying,
gonna take it serious
yeah.
either.
Then you're trying to turn that into, you need to be a leader for them. You need to help them. If you go viral making something that's fucking really helpful for people, that's going to be mint. So like that accountant kid that I showed you earlier did that video. He did a video on how to split directors' dividends between you and your partner and maximize your tax threshold while your partner doesn't work. Really fucking helpful. Loads of fucking comments of people talking about it. Loads of views. He must have got loads of followers off it. And all of those people will have looked at that and gone, that's really helpful accounting advice. Now, not all of them are going to sign up to these, but at least they're there for the right reasons. If he's made a fucking reel of him running around like a twat and doing cartwheels in his office and throwing coffee on people or whatever. I'm just thinking of something fucking stupid. But if he'd have done that and loads of people would have gone, oh, this guy's funny, and followed him, how many of those people are going to legitimately look at him like a serious
I'm not
accountant?
taking a business advice off you or accounting advice. That's exactly what it is. Like I honestly, if my coach was running about like a fucking asshole, like in his, well, to be fair, they've done some funny videos.
To be fair though, if that's a bit of your personality, it's fine.
Yeah, like-
But like I see people's whole thing on like
I would just can't take people serious like that.
saying stupid
I'm like, why
shit.
would I want to buy from you? Why the fuck would I trust you to coach me when you look like an absolute knobend?
Right. We got taught this when you go to be a teacher. Don't ever put anything online that you wouldn't be proud of. Like
Yeah, because like all my friends like have to, like
the actual saying was, don't ever put anything online that you wouldn't want stuck on your whiteboard at the front of the class.
Yeah, all my friends in uni all were teachers, and they were all told to change their names on Instagram as well, so the kids
Yeah.
don't go back home and Google yet. And that's actually like what's happened to loads of them.
I had an awful time though because I lived where I taught. So like the brothers and sisters like all knew me.
Yeah.
Like everyone knew who I was.
Yeah, that's
So I had like
awkward.
no privacy at all.
Yeah, like Facebook old photos coming out.
Not that because I never had anything like that. I wasn't daft, but like you'd be in the pub and like kids would be like, oh, so what are you doing in the pub? I'm like, it's my pub at the end of my road. Like, you're 15, so get the fuck out.
Yeah, you're like, you have no ID. Get out.
I did. I used to get them all kicked out.
Right, last one is, do you recommend doing PR as an online coach? So do you
Yeah, but at a point.
Okay.
My PR company, it was fucking brilliant that I'm not going to share the name of because I don't want anyone else to use them. No, it's tight. It's Quirky Frog PR. Really good friends of mine and really, really good. So we're in talks with them of supplying PR services to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So if our client get some amazing client results, then we're going to be able to get them in the paper, in Men's Health, in Women's Health, or all those associated magazines. If our clients have great stories themselves, we're going to be able to get them in. We're going to list them for award ceremonies and all that stuff. It's really good. However, it's not cheap. Mm-mm. Good PR isn't cheap. And I would argue that when did I first start doing PR? Started looking at PR at like maybe 40 grand a month. But then even then, I was so busy in the business that I couldn't actually do any of my PR stuff. So every time I got asked for anything, I couldn't do it. And we only really started doing it again a year ago, if that. And that was at way over 200K a month. So like there was a dead spot where I was just really busy. So I think you need two things. You need money and you need time. Mm-hmm. If you've got the money to pay for it and you've got the time to actually deliver on, they ask you for an article quote, do the article quote. If you can do an interview, you've got to go do the interview. Like all of that stuff. You can do all of that. sound. It's brilliant. I think it's massively underutilized as personal trainers, to be honest, because I'm all about like authority and credibility. That's why I don't agree running around with dildos on your Instagram. Unless
Who's doing this, by the way?
I think, to be fair, I think Carl did it, but Carl's hilarious, so he can get away with it.
Who?
But one of Kyle O'Rourke?
Oh, Carl.
Carl, sorry, yeah.
I thought you said Cal. I was like, who the fuck's Cal?
But to be fair, it fits Carl's personality and he's fucking hilarious. But then people copy him because they've seen it's done really well for him. So then you get these dead serious coaches like running around with dildos, and I'm like, what are you doing? What works for one person does not work for other. That's why
That's
people that used to
a lot of our conversation, to be fair, is that.
I know a lot of PTs that can get away with the sweary, angry stuff. I used to do it. Tyler does it fucking really well.
All I used to do, like, literally was like swear and like, oh my god, my content.
But then other people doing it if it's not them. Like I'm common as shit and swear all the time.
Same.
So it's fine. Yeah, you are common as shit. But
don't really care.
you know, you can't put that on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've got a problem with. Where were we? PR. I think PR is great. I think it's massively underutilized. I think it's hard as an individual business owner when you're in the growth stages to take advantage of it, which is why we're going to do it and then siphon it out. So it's going to be like all the clients are going to get access to it, and then we're going to pick the ones that are specific to that PR need that we need.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to get it, but they're not having to pay for it individually. So it'll work really well.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Be a good idea.
Have any other questions other than PR?
No.
Sweet. That was a load of chat about messaging and marketing, and it just comes down to understanding your target market realistically.
And also stop copying people. Just be yourself. Be original.
If you want some help with understanding your target market, I'll put a link below of access to our offer builder course. It will help you.
I'll put a link below. Usually it's me. Does the
Well, yeah, I'm not physically going to put a link below, but there will be a link below. The associated royal me will put a link below. You can get access to the offer builder. That'll be really good for you. It'll take you through some trainings of how to identify the perfect niche. You can always just ask us on Instagram as well. Like, I'm not against just like running people through a couple of questions that I normally ask. I think it's really important. And that will be the basis of all your marketing. Don't get caught in with tactics and fads and stuff like that. Just help people, be a good person, be friendly, help people that you want to help, and hit certain work targets for sure of doing that enough times a day to make the numbers come out in favor of your business. But that's all you need to worry about.